you set it, and it goes like 2 minutes or 3 minutes slow, and then it stays, it doesn't get any slower, it just does that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
swear to God, they got one in Spring Valley, same thing, you set it,
Mhm.
it goes,
Right.
within 24
Jumps.
hours, it's 3 minutes slow, and then it just keeps time from
Oh, my
3 minutes
phone
slow.
says
Well, if that was the case,
6:57.
why don't they just
Set it
for
3 minutes fast,
in
we're not
24
smart
hours-
enough,
within
we're not
24
smart enough
hours,
to do that.
Problem is solved
We're
forever.
not smart enough to
That
do
is
that.
very county.
Just a reminder to use your microphones, we did get some feedback that some people were sitting back, and if you would, please. Thank you. Are you going off of that clock up there?
Huh?
My phone's got 6:58, I don't know.
So does mine, 6:58.
I'll bring this up then.
What does Facebook have?
Was there any
For the
calls,
official time?
Amy, was there any calls or emails ahead of time for questions?
There were not. Nothing yet.
Carrie, what are you hearing? Is he gonna extend it to the end of May? That's what.
I was betting with Aaron earlier today, I said, I bet you don't even see schools open until October at the earliest.
Do you think so? Huh?
Although you hear Georgia and Tennessee wanted to be open by Friday?
When I was leaving to come over here tonight, I had CNN on, and Dr. Gupta they had like the Georgia curve, and it was like this. And they said they were gonna, but it hadn't even leveled out yet, and they said they were gonna open. I don't know. Yeah, well,
I'm just here to tell you that I have 2 coworkers who are positive, so
oh, you do?
don't really wanna go
7 or
there.
8? Good thing that's true.
No worries.
Call the Oglesby City Council meeting to order.
Augubright,
Here.
Cullinan,
Here.
Curran,
Here.
Mieski,
Here.
Rivara.
Aye. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion and second to approve the minutes of the April 8th, 2020 regular meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the April 8th, 2020 regular meeting.
Second.
Augubright,
Aye.
Cullinan, Curran,
Aye.
Mieski,
Aye.
Rivara.
Aye. Public comments on agenda items only. Having none, we'll move on. Approve bills as presented for payment.
I make a motion to approve the bills as presented for payment.
I'll second.
Augubright,
No.
Cullinan,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Mieski,
Aye.
Rivara.
Aye. Official resignation of the retirement of Oglesby Chief of Police, James Knobloch.
Recognition.
Sorry.
I would actually like to take a moment to recognize Chief James Knobloch for his 30 plus years of dedication to his job, commitment to Oglesby. I have a plaque that I'll be presenting to him, and because nobody is here to see it, it says, "In recognition for your outstanding service, exceptional leadership, and dedication to the city of Oglesby, may you be proud of the work you have done, the person you are, and the difference you have made. As your tour of duty ends, we thank you for your 30 years of service, 1989 to 2020. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
could put it in front of the camera, then the people could see. I mean,
Let's do that. This camera?
The learning curve here.
I'm like a lightning there. And there you go, and
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you. Can I say something?
Please.
Yes.
First, I'd like to thank my family. I'd like to thank the citizens of Oglesby for the support that they've given me for the last 30-plus years. It's been a wonderful career. I've enjoyed my tenure with the city of Oglesby. I think we've accomplished a lot of things over the 30 years that I've been part of it. I'd like to thank my fellow chiefs, my coworkers, the other police departments. I think that I've created and I've helped mentor quite a few people, and I think I've made quite a few friends throughout that process. And I'd like to thank the fire department, Chief Ron Paparella and Ambulance Director Kathy Edens. They've been fantastic to work with over the past how many years they've been ahead of their departments. And I'd like to thank the fellow council members that have supported me throughout my career. And I wish nothing but the best for the citizens of Oglesby and you as commissioners and council members.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Next is number 8 on the agenda to approve ordinance 1114-042020, establishing the salary and benefits of intern chief of police.
I don't know who wants to say anything about it, but we're paying the chief of police a monthly salary, and an additional 10% of that would go to the Illinois Linebacker Program through the Illinois Chief Association. And I think we kind of talked a little bit about that last week, so if there are no objections or questions about that, I would like to make a motion to approve the ordinance 1114-042020, establishing the salary and benefits of the interim chief of police.
I'll second that.
Augubright,
Aye.
Cullinan,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Wieski,
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Seneca Square Committee recommendation on how to proceed with the grant and the funds. The Seneca Square Committee met. They recommend that we not proceed. City would have to spend a minimum of $551,000 to get the $400,000 in grant money. So I need a motion and second that we go along with the recommendation of the Seneca Square Committee.
I will make a motion to go along with the recommendation of the Seneca Square Committee.
I'll second that.
Augubright,
Aye.
Cullinan,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Wieski,
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. This is on your council discussion on potential canceling of Summer Fun Fest.
I just asked that to be put on there, just so we can get it in our minds and on the agenda. I don't think that we should be pulling the trigger tonight on definitely canceling it, but I think we should maybe set a goal as a drop dead date of when we can cancel. I believe that the committee that works on this has looked to see when we have to have any cancellations per contracts, and we have like a month in advance, is that correct? So, you know, if it's scheduled for the middle of June, then I'm saying maybe at least by the first meeting in May, the second meeting in May, to have our decision on what we'd like to do. But it is in my opinion that we will probably not be having these types of events by June.
And New York just banned all festivals for June already, so the government might beat us to the deadline of when we have to tell us as well, so.
Yeah, I think there's a very, very small chance that this would still be happening, but I'd like to give it some time just so we don't, because we pull the trigger now on it, there's no way we're gonna restart it back up. But I think because we're 60 days away, if we made this decision the first week of May, I think that still gives 45 days or so, plenty of time to do cancellations.
I would like to, though, encourage still selling the tickets for the 50/50 and still do the 50/50 drawing at that time, because people have already committed dollars into that 50/50 drawing.
I think what we discussed and just said is gonna happen. I think the governor will make that decision for us. So, that being said, I'll move on.
All right?
Is there anything under old business?
I'd like to chime in if I could. Police business, is it possible? It was brought to my attention probably a little bit ago that there was 2 grievances filed in the department recently, within a month ago, 2 months ago. So what's going on with that?
Can I stop right there? Because if there's a grievance that's going on and I'm unaware of it, should we be talking about that in open forum?
I'm unaware of it too. I haven't received anything from the previous grievance that was supposedly already taken place, and I haven't received nothing on that.
To my knowledge, we haven't talked about any kind of active grievance in closed session yet. So if there is one that exists, I recommend that we would
Well,
talk
there's
about
one
it.
that's been taken care of, one out of the 2 that's been taken care of.
It hasn't gone to arbitration.
It hasn't gone to arbitration. Okay. And where are these grievances coming up? Well, I mean, what's the problem that we have in that department?
I believe some of it is exactly what you have been aware of all along. We have an officer who doesn't want to go up to the Trident, and so assigning somebody has been very problematic. We talked about that at our last meeting, about what the process was in making the recommendation of who to go to Trident. So that officer has filed a grievance, and that has not gone to arbitration.
But obviously, you're still having problems in that department. Nothing's ever been changed since you sidelined me.
Well, I've had the department since January 20th, and so what is that, 3 months? And half of that time we've been in shelter in place, so it's been a little difficult to get some things face to face.
You know,
However, there has been some changes that have occurred in that department.
I don't feel that department has been operated to the best.
Well, I'm
of its
sorry that
ability.
you feel that way.
And you know, I don't wanna say incompetent, but that's what I'm getting at.
Oh, that really is
I feel that,
very shameful of you to
well, you
call
know, I
that
call
out.
it what it is. I call it what it is, and I feel that if you can't do your job in the department, I don't know what to say. I
And the
mean,
9 months you had it, you got what done? Because you admitted in council that you got nothing done in those first 9 months.
I think I
6
had gotten
months,
something
excuse me.
done that was a plus, but
Actually,
you
you
guys,
admitted you didn't.
reversed everything, and now we had all these problems again.
Jim, can I ask you a question?
Please.
Did you support the efforts to mediate and bring the department together to be the best that it could be?
I had everybody that I talked to was in agreement that there was things that needed to be done. And now we're gonna go back through this, you knew all about this stuff.
But you didn't answer my question. Did you support the efforts of mediation to bring the department together and make it the best that it could be?
Yes, I did agree to that, but it never happened. You can see we're still at a department that still is in chaos. And that's,
Is that your opinion?
I know that, Dom. Dom, I worked there 25 years. I know what goes on in that department.
Well, I will say this, if it is in chaos, there is a new chief of police that's recently taken over. I have not met this man yet. I haven't heard any kind of report from him on anything. So, and I said this before in the previous meeting, a fresh set of eyes taking an assessment of something like that is probably a good thing. And I'd be curious to hear what that individual has to say.
You know, I'm hoping for the best too, but you know, I feel a lot of people have been disappointed. They come up to me and ask me what's going on. I said, I don't know. They won't even say nothing to me. I don't get nothing.
What people?
Huh?
What people?
People on the street come up to me and talk to me all the
You know,
time. and
Commissioner
there's-
Cullen, you accomplished absolutely nothing in 9 months.
That's-
I accomplished,
That's,
I would like to
No,
respond.
I want you to speak.
Thank you.
Jim,
You know, in
No, you
a
let
three-
him go. You let him
in a-
speak. Then I'll have my 2 cents.
in a 3.5 months,
in the 3.5 months that I worked with Commissioner Liaski, we've accomplished more than 9 months that I worked with Commissioner Cullinan. What he's saying is that that it's still in an uproar. Well, to be honest, we made a decision as an administrative team to put an officer in Trident. I don't believe that's my decision. It was done by 3 other officers along with myself. And it was a unanimous decision, was 4-0. So I'm not sure that that's a chaos. That's a decision that's made by an administrative team that made the correct decision. And that the officer made the decision to file a grievance, which he has every right to do. So that is going to arbitration. I believe that's what the ruling was last week. The other grievance was done underneath your watch, Commissioner Cullinan, and it's just now getting to the point to where he's filed a grievance.
Kleinfelter? Kleinfelter happened under my
I'm not
watch.
mentioning anybody's name.
You were the one that,
So that's,
you were the one that
That's
refused to pay him.
so,
I'm gonna cut this
so
off. I'm
realistically,
gonna cut it
that's
off right now.
where the grievance would come from.
Yeah,
Jim, just.
yeah.
Thank
cut
you.
it off, Don, so the
And-
people
and
don't know
Commissioner
what's
Cullinan,
going on like you
Come
do.
May 1st, you don't have to worry about me.
And you wanna talk about transparencies? All the stuff that
Be careful what you say, Commissioner Cullinan.
I'm gonna tell you the way it is, no.
Hey, that's it. Enough.
You need to listen to
Enough.
me. You need to listen to me. I got all the right to, these people voted for me for this reason. And I'm gonna tell you something. I gave you instructions prior to me being forced out of the
You're not my
department.
boss anymore, Commissioner Cullinan. I don't
I've
need
got
to listen to you.
papers that go back. I asked you to hire an officer. You did not hire an officer.
That's enough.
You did not buy a car. You did not, any of that stuff that I had asked you to do.
May I
You
respond to that?
were insubordinate from that point.
October 23rd, I met with Commissioner Cullinan and asked him to have a meeting with the Fire and Police Board.
Yeah, and I had to go round up a guy at the high school to have.
I do not have the power
That's
to
it.
go to,
That's
please,
it.
I'd just like to respond to
We
it, Mayor.
just gotta shut this off.
October 23rd,
We
I had a
gotta
meeting with
shut
him
it
and asked him
off.
to hire an officer. He chose not to have a meeting with the Fire and Police Board.
Oh,
I don't have the power as the police chief to call that meeting. He does. As City Attorney Andreoni wrote a letter for Commissioner Cullen stating, you need to hire an officer. I don't have that power. So what Commissioner Cullen's saying is not facts.
We are.
So
not
let's
gonna-
start saying facts.
Jim, we're
I'm
not-
sorry, Mayor.
We're not gonna accomplish anything
I agree.
by going
I'm not
back
getting
and
attacked by
forth.
Commissioner.
Back
That's
and
the
forth,
truth.
that's it.
That's
Let's
a
move on.
damn
I'm sorry.
disgrace. Damn disgrace that this stuff happens
Correct.
here
This
and
is
nobody.
a disgrace.
Jim, you don't
tonight.
wanna wash your laundry in front of everybody here
Would you
tonight.
tell me, Mayor, don't pick a fight you can't win. Remember that?
That's right.
That's right. And remember that. You acted out of proportion last time we had a meeting here. I'm tired of having the people being snooped over what's going on here, and they don't know the damn truth. You know, everybody tells me that. They said, well, you got stuff going on.
Who
but
tells you?
You're always out.
What
posting
people
on
tell
the
you?
news.
Considering we're under a shelter in place and we're not gathering, I'm not really sure where you're talking to all these people.
What-
But I really like to say, this is shameful,
I know
and we're
a
trying
lot
to
of
let this
people.
police
I know
chief
a
go
lot
out
of
on a
people.
high note, and you have done nothing but drag in dirty, half-truth and untruthful statements.
Oh,
And I-
my laundry, what about your
When you
laundry?
say people, are you referring to a grievance?
As far as.
Is there
what?
somebody other than the grievance you're talking about?
It has nothing to do with the grievance. I get around, I talk to people every day about this stuff.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Enough, okay, I've heard.
Public comments.
Um,
Having none. Commissioner report.
Can I have another comment off the police record here, but it relates to the police department. I guess there's still some businesses, I guess, that really aren't essentials, that are still kind of doing a backdoor deal during the day. Again, I'm informed by other people who tell me what's going on, and that's how I know.
What businesses are you talking about? Oh, what's?
I don't wanna mention the name right here. I can tell you after the meeting. I don't wanna.
Did you approach
If
the,
I put it out there, Dom, they're gonna know who
You
they are.
did put it out here. You put it out
But
in a
let's put
public
it this way,
meeting.
if there are people doing business who
Right.
should not be doing
Right,
business,
and that's,
then you should report that to the
right,
police
and they
department.
should be checked out, and you should
Absolutely.
have somebody go by there and check out the business
Absolutely.
every now and then. I don't wanna give a name out, because the minute I
then why are
give
you
a name
mentioning
out-
it here? I mean, if somebody's committing a crime,
I'm
Well,
not sure.
if-
Okay.
if you know,
would you report it? Has it been reported?
That's what you've
It was
alleged.
reported to me.
Did you report this information anywhere to any
I
form of
just got it.
authority?
I just got it
You
today.
just got it during the
Yes,
meeting?
No, I got it earlier.
Did you report it to the authorities that
Not
need
yet.
to?
I figured I would
I don't
bring it
know.
here, but I'm not gonna put a name out where everybody can find out who it is and can run to them and tell them what's going on. I figured I could bring it to you and.
I
give
would
it to you
agree
first.
that if there was a potential crime being committed, that this would not be the venue to put that out. Because if it's incorrect, then it's called slander, right? If it's correct, your investigated people look into it and go from
If
there.
it's a non-essential business, if there's people coming in and out, all the time, I mean, isn't it something to look at? I mean, it's non-essential.
I
How about we
agree.
look into it?
I don't know why it's brought up here.
Let's move
I'm
on.
just telling you, there's something, and it should be looked into.
We'll look
Thank
into
you.
it.
Commissioner Augubright, do you have any?
I have nothing to report tonight, no way.
Carrie?
I really can't follow that.
I have a couple of reminders, just that Street Department, 4 to 8 May will be doing chipping. Again, the 27th of April will be the hydrant flushing start. And a follow-up reminder for the yard waste bags that are down at the electric department. I guess there's been a couple people that have been there during the hours that were open and said that it was locked. That's only partially true. There's actually 2 gates. If one of the dumpsters becomes completely full, they'll lock that gate. So if you ever go there during the times and see that one of the gates is locked, check around the other side, there's another gate. The last thing I got to put out, it should have went out on Code Red and also was on Facebook. There is at the Malik Road substation, there is a faulty piece of equipment and we have to put it in a bypass until we get a new piece of gear in. So that is gonna be happening at 2 a.m. this morning. So anybody that is south of the fire station, Deerfield Estates, or if you're a business or resident like in the Cedar Creek area that's west of I-39, you will be without power at 2 a.m. in the morning. So hopefully it should be restored by 4 a.m. And that is all I have.
Nothing.
Thank you. Business managers report, road access grant, Shug from NCICG, IDNR and area have been working together to reconstruct the timeline so we can bring closure to this project and get the city reimbursed from the state, about $58,000 we got coming. The council has to make a decision on how we proceed with the Schmidt property, tear it down, put it up for sale with the stipulation that it has to be torn down within 90 days and the property reclaimed. We can put it out for, notice of somebody else wants to do it. Shug has also looked at seeing there's grants out there for abandoned buildings, and we have requested that the funds be reinstated so Oglesby could start to use the funds for some downtown buildings. I'm looking to get some discussion to waive the liquor licenses for business that have had to close and or cut to carryouts, so they could do curb pickups due to the Corona-19 virus. This would not include packaged liquor stores, but would include clubs like the Legion, Casey's, and
No, not Casey's.
Casey Hall.
The
Casey
Knights of
Hall.
Columbus. The Knights of Columbus.
Casey Hall is what you mean.
The Casey's.
No, sorry. I'm sorry, it's Knights of Columbus and the Elks. Dog tags we would extend to July 31st. Parks will remain closed and will open as per the governor's guidelines whenever he does that. Good information, gaming proceeds for 2019-2020 were $100,513.23. The city is looking at ways to recognize graduates of 2020. We're gonna put up a banner in front of City Hall that would list, excuse me, grade schools and the high schools, LP, St. Bede's, Holy Family, and in Washington. Residents of Oglesby, I need to remind you that bulk items are not being picked up at curbside due to the virus. Yard waste will continue to be deposited at dumpsters provided in our fenced areas of the electric shops at times posted. I want to thank our city employees for all that they do in these times. Sunday, as an example, Aaron was here to fill up our little food pantry outside. You don't realize how bad some people are hurting when you come here every day and it's near empty. So it is helping some people. I want to welcome Chief Doug Hayes and encourage everybody to give him their cooperation and support. Whether he be here 6 months, 6 years. So I think we're very fortunate to have a good guy come in here and hopefully he can unify the department. One of the things the city is having a tough time getting is masks for some of our employees. And that's about all I have. I'll entertain a motion to.
Mayor, you did mention something about waiving the liquor license,
Yes.
and I guess I would not be in favor of actual waiving, but maybe prorating when the bars will be able to open, to be able to serve liquor again, that the fee would be prorated to the amount of months in the year as opposed to waiving altogether.
We can discuss it and try to come up with something. My idea was these people, a lot of them are hurting. They're not able to pay their employees. Just an idea to try to help.
When are the liquor license due?
They've been pushed back
July,
to July.
end of July. They pushed
The
them-
state has pushed theirs
Normally they
back
would
to
be May
July.
1st.
Normally it would be May.
State pushed them back to the end of.
So we don't have to do any specific thing to push ours back
Not
because we follow the
anytime.
state? Okay.
And I think it's $5,500 is what we're talking about.
$5,500 it would cost the city to waive it.
Well, I would recommend, since they're not due yet, and we can wait for the state's direction on that, we have a little bit of time to decide what we want to do with it.
Oh, Illinois will fully charge them eventually.
Oh, yeah.
They're
And
not,
that's
they're
why,
not gonna prorate it.
that's why I just
Yeah, but
suggested the
Ellen-
prorating.
Yeah, but the state doesn't see the empty storefronts
Yeah.
that somebody can open.
Jim, is that something that we're allowed to do, that
Yes.
we fully control that then?
Sure.
So we could?
There's,
Okay.
there's 2 licenses. There's a state license, which obviously the state controls, and there's a local license, which you control. What you charge for the local license, how many local licenses you allow, that's all local control. So, you can just delay the collection of the license fee until July 1st. If you're going to prorate it, I would recommend that we probably have an ordinance that says that, because we would really want to make sure that when we did it, that it was clear what the intention of the council was. But for right now, just delaying it, I don't think that would require an ordinance to do that.
And let's just think about the next meeting maybe and then talk about it because.
Sure. I expect everybody to
Yeah.
jump and do handstands, but it was just a way to try to help people get through this. That being done, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
All motion to adjourn.
Second.
Algebright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivara.
Aye.